Welcome back to Horse Racing Today, as Terry and I go after Horseshoe Indianapolis after a so-so Money Monday. A couple of things hit. Small pick 4. Surprisingly, thought it would pay a little more than it did, but you know what it is. It is what it is. It's horse racing, folks. That's what we're all here about today. And today's all aboutness is at Horseshoe Indianapolis. It's going to start in a little bit. I was kind of surprised to see they had such a late post time, but I guess that's the way that works, huh?
Yeah, that's always has that post time there.
Yeah, I just felt like we always started a little bit earlier than 1 o'clock my time. In any case, Terry, always we start off. We got some free picks today too. Tonight's at, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Asanobia? How do you pronounce it? Asobania or whatever the hell it's called.
I'd say Asanobia.
Asanobia. And the reason we pick Asanobia is I know that there's, what is it called? Stable Duel. They have a competition on Monday nights or Tuesday nights at Asanobia. So why not just take a look at our picks and maybe play the Stable Duel contest? We have no stake in it. They don't sponsor us or anything, but just trying to be somewhat helpful for those folks who do play contests. Of course, today, after the show is over, like yesterday, we'll post our comments along with a replay of the show at horseracingtoday.net. There's a link in the description for both the free picks and to horseracingtoday.net. While you're there, click on that HRT gear. I really like the way that snapback number 1 looked great on you yesterday. Maybe pair it up with the red number 1 shirt. You'll be styling as you head out to the track, boasting that you are number 1, both as a fan of horse racing today and the top handicapper on the planet and looking better than everybody else. They call that a trifecta in horse racing, Terry.
Trade.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started with race number 1. I forgot to show all those things on there, but anyhow, we'll come back to them a little bit later on. So race number 1 at Horseshoe Indianapolis, what is it all about on this terrific Terry Tuesday?
It's a 6 furlong race. It's an allowance race. It's a $41,000 purse, and it's for registered Indiana bred, sired by Indiana stallions, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won a race other than a maiden, claiming starter, or which have never won 2 races.
And at a 6 furlong race on the Horseshoe Indianapolis dirt track, early speed does great. About 33% of the time, where I remember from my high school days or maybe even middle school days, 1 out of 3 go wire to wire. There's the rails fair, so Booming will get a good shot at it. 2 and 3 get a bit of a bonus. 4 and out, there's a penalty, but the closer you are to the rail, the better off you are. We do 10,000 simulations, Terry, to see who has the best chance to get to the lead. We also do, so you'll see that here. We also want to see how that early pace projection matches up to their best performances, putting the horses in their C-zone or comfort zone. A score of 50% or better is preferred. We also check to see in 10,000 simulations how many times it projects out a speed figure at or above par for this level, being 75. So you see here that 5,840 times Tizzetti ran a speed figure of at least that number. Finally, we're looking for some value. Everybody wants to get more than they pay for. So we want our simulation odds to be lower than post-time odds. And today you see a new number in here, Terry. That's the Q30. It's reading in the book about handicapping, the complete book of handicapping from James Quinn. A horse that has a Q30 score, in other words, 30% of all the query points or higher, you could play those, he says, blindly because they turn a positive ROI. I'm trying to see if I can team that up to find some wire-to-wire winners. Put it to use today, Terry. Put the simulations to use today.
All right. Well, to start off with, that 2 shows lots of speed. It should get to that quarter pole first, although the 9 may have a little something to say about it. The 5 has an overlay from 6 to 5 to 7 to 2, and the 7 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 9 to 2. All but the 4 and 8 have par plus numbers, and all of them have comfort zones. And then on the Q30, you see that 2 has the highest number, followed up by the 7 and the 9.
Yeah, so you're looking, usually they say the number is 30%, but still, this one has a good shot, the most curing points to get to the front. Par plus, maybe that one goes wire to wire, Hawkeye. I'm really interested to see how this stuff plays out. We compare that to the early pace. The 2 definitely wants to be on the lead, Hawkeye, along with the 5, 7, and 9. So let's see which one's going to get the lead. Well, it looks like the 2 and the 9, the 5 and the 7. Looks like a pretty competitive early going in there. So maybe the 7 or 5 might find themselves disappointed if they do not get to the lead, the 9 as well. Late speed in a race that could be contentious early belongs to the lone PC horse, Jenny's Benet. It does have a little bit more late speed than Rigoberto, but Rigoberto's much quicker early on, so I would give that one the edge. And then finally, your top total pace horse is Rigoberto. And then Tizetti, Hawkeye, Costly Pass. Usually the top 4 accounts for about 75%, about 72% of winners, Terry. Which one gets your top nod on this Tuesday?
Well, I like that number 6 horse, Rigoberto. He ran second versus Tougher in his last race, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 9 Lightning Fighter, finished in the money in 3 out of 4 career races, winning the last start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then Tizetti, the 5, is my next pick. He finished third versus Simmer his last race. His early speed style, running style helps his chances, and they added Lasix this time. The 7's my long shot, Costly Pass. He finished in the money in 4 out of the 5 races. Best start speed is fastest among today's starter. He has a high percentage winning trainer. We get a $100 budget each day, and we bet $2 to win on our first choice, $1 exacta box on our first 2, a 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 picks, and a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 picks. That's $8.40. We have 9 races today, so it leaves us around $24 to bet somewhere else in the card.
We have 8 races in a popcorn race at the end.
Yeah.
The quarter horse type. I'm going to start off with the 6 horse, and then we get a little bit different from there. We're the same on the beginning and the end, a little bit different in the middle. But Roberto has been off since May. Good workouts, prepping. Just needs to run back to its debut, probably to be the winner here. Tizetti does get that early speed, does get that first-time Lasix, Terry, as you pointed out. I've noticed those 2 together are a winning combo very often. Hawkeye, I'm going to put this to the test today. The Q30, big chance to get on the lead. Also the pace setter on our pace settings as well. So I expect the 2 horse to get to the front and maybe go wire to wire, where 1/3 of all horses win on the lead. And then finally, Costly Pass, the 7 horse, is my final choice in here. This one has, I believe, the most upside in the race. If it can run back just 2 races ago, it's a potential winner and maybe a potentially easy win. I remember over there, they do take their time at Horseshoe Indianapolis, although it says they're about to post. They're on Charlestown time, Terry, so we can probably do race number 2.
Okay, let's do that. Race number 2 is a 1.70 yards, optional claiming race, $40,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed, purse $42,000 for registered Indiana breds, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races other than a maiden claiming or starter, which have never won 4 races, or a claiming price of $40,000.
And at $170 on the main track, you're looking for horses again with early speed. Marshall Falk, 28% of the time, they go wire to wire. The inside 3 clearly have the advantage. 4 through 7 gets squeezed. 8 and out almost returns to fair. So if you're on the inside 3, Terry, and you got some early wheels, you have a great chance to win. But it looks like all the wheels are on the outside.
That's true. It's the 8, 6, and 4 that show all the speed. So it's really anybody's guess who's going to get that quarter pole first. That 4 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 5 to 2. And the 8 has an overlay from, again, 6 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 8 shows the only par plus number, and all of them show C-zone numbers. Nobody's above 30% on the Q30.
I'm looking at the race shape in here for race number 2, and we see that 3 on the lead, 3 in the back, 2 with some versatility in the middle. Look out for these guys. Early pace in this race suggests that CJ Storm, if we look back here, the one with the best chance to get the lead and the top Q30 score, along with the 6 horse, that one got a good shot to get to the front and maybe stay there. At the end of the race, as they come home down the stretch and the announcer's voice gets a little louder with excitement, Bascoat will be coming the quickest along with Grandin Bay, but really not a big difference except for maybe the 3 and the 6. Everybody else has enough late speed to stay engaged at the end. CJ Storm, the 8 horse, does grade out along with Manuelito as their top 2. They're 10 points clear of the next closest group. This race, according to pace, and our good friend Chris Parmalu, would come down to the 8 and 4. Terry, you don't have either one of them. I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm going with the long shot here. The 3, me and Chili. He likes Horseshoe Indianapolis, finishing in the money 71% of the races, winning 24% of those starts, drops in class today, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and he's going back to a distance. The 1 is my second choice, Follow the Money, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 19% of the starts. He has a horse running in, Hobnobbin General. The 2 is my next. Yeah, I don't know. Hobnobbin
General. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He has a high percentage win trainer, wins 22% of the races when taking a horse from turf to dirt. And he has a high percentage win jockey. Then I like the 6 as my long shot, Prince Shem. He won his last race at Horseshoe Indianapolis, and his early running style will help his chances. We play what's called a Don Johnson Miami Vice pick 4. And we're going to, in this race, I'm going to go with the 1, 2, 3, 6, with the 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 10, single the 7, and then finish up with the 3, 5, 6, 8, $48 ticket.
I'm going to start off with a horse that you don't have, 2 horses you don't have. The 8, CJ Storm, might not look it on paper, but we see this horse is going to get to the front, has that high Q30 score, and also the pace setter according to our pace numbers. Best chance to go wire to wire, where 28% do just that. Manuelito, the 4 horse, my second selection, most consistently performs around par for this level. Number 2, Hobnobbin General, or Hobnobbin. Chance for a major speed number jump in the second race after a layoff. This is the right distance for this guy. 6 times out, in the money 5 times, 2 wins, a second and a couple of thirds. And then Follow the Money should be my last pick in here. Going to benefit from the rail, close enough early on with these group, and does have one of the strongest C-zone scores in the mix. I'm going 248, 239, 146, 7. Where Terry singled the 7. I don't know, I'm going a little bit deeper there because I feel like the 7 is going to be a favorite, a big favorite, and that's where the tickets can get divided up. And then 5, 6 on the end. How are we looking for race number 1? Are they done? They're still kind of moseying around.
Yeah, they're still moving around.
So tomorrow, Terry and I will do Saratoga. We'll start about 10 minutes before post there, though I am considering some changes to the way we structure the show, thanks to the suggestions of Scary Creations. I think what he brought up yesterday might make a lot of sense. Tie it into the horse racing contests. And then Thursday and Friday we'll be off, probably returning back on Monday as normal to Ellis Park. I'm going to do some traveling this weekend, so it depends on what time I get home. We'll make sure that you're notified of all of that by following us on our social sites. Terry, and how do they do that?
They need to subscribe to YouTube, hit the little bell that'll indicate or tell them when there's a show coming up, and then go down and copy the link and share it with all their friends, relatives, and neighbors so they can come and check us out. Go to our social sites at Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, and Threads at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like, and that will help us out quite a bit with the algorithms.
Yeah, any interaction that you have coming back to watch the video. And when the show's over, we will timestamp every race. So if you want to watch what we talked about for race number 2, or you want to look at these new Q30 scores, it'll all be timestamped down in the description on YouTube. Again, like Terry says, kindly subscribe there. If you haven't, we certainly would love to get to 10,000 subscribers much sooner than later, because YouTube then unlocks a whole set of tools that help you grow a whole lot faster. So they're all lining up in there, Terry. Right now, that 6 horse that we both have, Rigoberto, as our top pick. That one is right now like 3 to 5. So
yeah.
The next up on the board looks like it's down to 1 to 2 now. So you got 3 horses under 10 to 1. They're off and running right now. And away they go. The 2 horse, Hawkeye, is the one that got to the lead. That's what the Q30 suggested. That's what our simulations suggested. The 5 horse, and they're trying to split it and the 9 horse as they come down. The question is, how fast are they running? Doesn't look like they're going too fast at the moment. The 4 horse is sitting in 4th place. Your favorite, Terry, is, I think, second to last right now. A lot of ground to make up. Looks like the 5 and the 2 right now are definitely duking it out. 5 horse is taking control over the 2 horse. 2 horse, that strong horse to get to the lead, and that top Q score in there is hanging on to second. I thought the 9 might go by him, but the 9 is backing up as well. This looks like the 5 horse, Terry, is going to go all the way, although the 2 horse is trying to get re-involved on the rail. Kind of an interesting run from that 2 horse. He's wobbling all over the track, but he is finding better ground at the end of the race here. I don't know if he's going to catch that 5. I don't think that he is, but it's going to go 5, I think 2, and then I think the favorite might find its way into 3rd. It's going to be close between it and the 9. So 5, 2, maybe the 6, maybe the 9 in that. And we saw there horses that got to the lead kind of stayed on the lead there, Terry. And that Q horse, that 2 horse, that Q score, not too bad so far, I'd say.
Yeah.
Decent second place. Let's see if that can hold out. I'd love to find something where we could screen, right, every single day and maybe find 12, 10 horses that meet, they have these high Q scores. They have a very strong chance to get on the lead, strong C zone, and your top par horse, maybe top 1 or 2 par horses. Maybe identify 7, 8, 9 horses a day where 3 or 4 of them are going to win and hopefully at decent prices.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Hey, guys, I need a grand slam today. All right. Well, Terry, you got some grand slams in your pocketbook today, my friend, of picks?
Maybe. You never know.
All right, race number 3. Let's see what we have here.
All right, in this race 3, we have a 1.16 on the turf. It's an allowance race, $40,000 purse. It's for registered Indiana breds, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races other than a maiden, claiming, or starter, and which have never won 3 races.
And as they move over from the dirt to the turf, we really don't find that things change a whole lot. Instead of early speed, stalkers do it, right? So front half of the field for sure, although still a pretty good bunch. 27% win gate to wire. The rail stinks, so indocumentado, maybe you want to downgrade that one. 2 and 3, that's really the best place to be. 4 through 7 are almost fair, and 8 and out get penalized again. So if you like a horse in the 2 or 3 spot that has decent enough early speed, Terry, to get involved, but it does look like in this race, a lot of them could get to the front early.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of them show speed, but the 9 and 5 have the most speed, so we'll just have to see what happens there. The 3 shows an overlay from about 5 to 2 to 3 to 1, and the 9 shows an overlay from 4 to 1 to 12 to 1. 3, 2, and 9 show the best par plus numbers, followed up by the 4, and then the 4, 9, 1, 5 show C zones, although that 5 is pretty low. But that 5 also shows 25% on that Q30. So it's getting closer to that 30%.
Yeah, maybe that one can get to the front. The question is, though, it may not get to the front with all the contention. So that might be something to keep an eye on. It would absolutely be something I'm monitoring. Really, nobody wants to be a pace setter in here, Terry, because their best races haven't come on the lead. Most of them want to close. So if you can get forward here at a distance where 27% win wire to wire, maybe the 1 or 9 could be really well positioned in this race, although that rail stinks, as we mentioned. South Decatur is the quickest, about 3/4 of a length of everybody else. Doesn't need the lead, but certainly can take its normal pace out of the gate and be on the front. At the end, Tour the Moon, along with Knight's Move, Jailhouse Justice, the most late speed. Those 3, particularly these top 2, with a pretty good edge over everybody else. Our top total pace horse in here, Terry, is the 3 horse, Knight's Move, over the speed horse. So the question is, on the turf race, are you going to go speed or are you going to go closer, Terry?
Well, I'm going to go that 3 horse, Knight's Move. He finished 3rd on an all-weather track in his last race, has the highest last speed rating. He has the highest head percentage winning turner, wins 17% of the turf starts. He has a horse running in, and he has a good workout on July 30th. Then I like Jailhouse Justice, the 2. He ran 2nd versus Tougher in his last race, dropped class today. 6, Jay's Naughty Boy is my 3rd choice, finished 3rd in his last race. Best 3rd speed is close to the average winning speed, and he has a good 4 furlong workout on August 1st. And then Talks a Lot. The A is my long shot, finished in the money in 2 out of his last 3 races.
I have Humble Warrior.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is
it's the 8 horse.
Is the 8?
Maybe you just got the wrong name down, but
Yeah.
I don't see Talks a Lot in here either, so it has to be.
Yeah, it has. Okay. Well, anyway, last 3 races, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and I don't have any other bets in here. Let me fix that. So,
all right. So I have the 2 horses, my top selection, Terry Jailhouse Justice, coming in from a $100,000 non-graded stakes race where he finished second by a neck. The third up record says this should be the best outing of its career. Number 3, Knight's Move, been off since December. The works are solid. My only question about that one is the first up record is sketchy. South Decatur, the 9 horse. I'm going with that Q score again right there, Terry. Best chance to go wire to wire. Lone PC horse in there. Going to get an excellent trip. And then Jay's Naughty Boy, Z Pattern in its last. We'll be closing. Once again, Terry, I have to step away for a minute while you walk people through race number 4, if you'd be so kind. Give me about a minute and a half, all right?
All right. All right, everybody. We're going to go to race 4, and race 4 is 1 mile and 70 yards. It's an allowance race. $46,240 is for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won $12,000 once other than a maiden, claiming, starter, restricted, or straight bred, or which have never won 2 races. So there you go on that one. And let's see here. I'm going to tell you to go ahead and subscribe to YouTube again so that we can maybe get up to that 10,000 this year. We'd really like to do that. And if you subscribe, then go ahead and hit that little bell so we can get notified about all our programs. We have a lot of different programs. A lot of times we'll have a special program around some of the big races or big meets. And then take and share this by copying the link down at the bottom. I'm sorry. And share it with all your friends, relatives, and neighbors. Go to our social sites such as YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, X at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us likes and thumbs ups.
All righty then, all back. Small little in-house emergency in any case. At 1 mile and 70 yards, as we talked about before, you're looking at horses with early speed. 28% of the time, they go wire to wire. The inside 3 are the best places to be, Terry, in this allowance $46,000 race. Is there any inside speed to note?
Well, let me tell you there, the 4 and the 1 show the most speed. So you can say that 1 has some inside speed. The 4 also has an overlay from 8 to 1 to 12 to 1. The 7 has an overlay from about 3 to 5, for 2 to 5 to 1 to 6 to 5, 7 to 5. And the 7-6 have the par numbers. All but the 2 show C zones, although the 6 is kind of low.
And we got, look at this, a 33% on the West Coast Cruiser on the Q, which is that 30 score. But if you look here, it says he's not going to get the lead. So the second choice in there, Kitty Hawk, says it will get the lead with that strong C zone. So a little bit of user discretion, I suppose. The 2 and the 4 look like they should be up on the front. That's where they want to be. The 1 in the middle, everybody else wants to close. So in a race where 28% go wire to wire, the 2 or 4 have that early edge. They could have an edge. The 1 horse does have some early speed. Should keep that 4 in check. The 5 horse, Lambeth, a closer with enough pace to be involved. So maybe a borderline left arrow horse. At the end of the race, there is a standout here for late speed. That is beyond best. About a 3-length late speed edge over everybody else. That's a pretty big number. The question is, how far off the pace will he be at the get-go? At the end, though, doesn't seem to matter because Beyond Best does have a 9-point total pace edge over everybody else. And when you're borderline 10, that's a horse that may not win, but certainly one that has a great chance to win, Terry. But you don't think it's going to beat your bet of the day?
No, I don't. I think King Ice is my bet of the day. And, you know, this horse has won or finished in the money 100% of the races at Horseshoe Indianapolis and won 63% of those races. The distance won't cause any problem. Is finished 100% of the money at this distance, and 80% of the time he won the races. Then I like the 5 Lambeth. He comes in from Aqueduct to try Horseshoe Indianapolis, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Luna Tap, the one's my third choice. He comes back to Horseshoe Indianapolis, where he won his debut race, drops in class, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. In the 6 Beyond Best, he finished poorly in his last race after being bumped and impeded at the start, so he had some excuses for that finish. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet $24 to win on number 7.
So bumped and excuses. So from now on, when we have a tough day in handicapping, I was bumped. Had some excuses at the start, Terry.
Yeah.
So Barry asking us about the Q score. So the Q score, so in the book, The Complete Handicapper by James Quinn, he talks about the Quirin rankings. And if you're familiar with them, the maximum points you can get, I think, are 9 per race, or maybe 8. I forget exactly what it is. So, and it has to do with, how close they are to the front race after race after race. They want to get out to the front and get going. And a horse that has, so you sum up all the Q points. Thankfully, Brisnet in their data gives us the Quirin score. So you sum up the entirety of the race, and then you divide each horse's Q score by the total. And those horses that have a 30% of all the Quirin points for that race, he says you can bet blindly. So just a couple of weeks ago, if you go through my Twitter feed at HRT Rich, you'll see I put out, I think there was 10 horses that I put out on that card for the entire card for the entire day that had a Q score of 30% or more, where there wasn't a bunch of first-time starters and a couple of other caveats that I took out from experience. And I think 4 of those 10 horses actually won. So 40% winners. And the ROI, I think, basically doubled your money in that one day. I know it's anecdotal, but I also noticed that the horses that did the best got to the lead or were close to the lead. Those that kind of struggled to get to the lead, regardless of their Q30 score, had a hard time because they want to be on the lead. You don't get the lead, they get discouraged. So in my mind, started thinking, well, we do all of this early pace stuff. Why not put the two together and see if they match up? So I've been kind of watching to see, and I've noticed those high Q scores that have these sort of things where we have a good shot to get to the lead, according to our simulations, a strong C zone, so they'll be comfortable up there. And then on top of that, have the early pace to boot with it. So you see like Kitty Hawk in here has that early pace. Those horses have a good shot to go wire to wire. And I don't remember exactly what the number, but I think in the United States, the most common way of winning is wire to wire, which I think is about 16% of all races, if I recall correctly, Terry. Do you remember any number like that?
Yeah, I think it's between 15 and 16% too. Yeah.
So that's and so many of the handicappers that I've talked to that have gone on to win big contests, they've mentioned that they're speed handicappers. They're looking for horses to get to the front. And if you notice, a lot of times big upsets are horses that are on the front. Anyway, I don't think there will be a big upset maybe in race number 7. King Ice does love Horseshoe Indianapolis, as you mentioned, Terry, 8 times out, 5 of those ending in the winner's circle, 3 of them the bridesmaid, but also loves the distance, 5 times out, 4 times the bride, 1 time the runner-up. Number 6, Beyond Best, does have that top total pace score, 9 points clear of everybody else with a substantial late speed edge. If that one's anywhere near this group coming out of the turn, A might find it really difficult to fend them off. Ludatap is a lone P in a field where everybody wants to be middle back in there. Terry, good shot to be on the lead, dropping from a grade 3 after a dominating debut. Decent workouts, prepping to get back to work. And then finally, Kitty Hawk. There's that horse, the one that's got the best chance to go wire to wire, in my view. Top C zone, best chance to get to the lead, highest Q30 score, top of the list at our early pace numbers. So why not give him that chance? We're 28% go gate to wire. And maybe we find something that, again, if we can identify maybe 5-6 horses on the day with a huge chance to win, it could make for good betting. Bless you. Race number 5, Terry, the start of the late pick 4 and also the race of death as it connects the first pick four, ends the first pick four, and starts the second pick four.
That's true, and it's a pick 6 furlong. It's an allowance race, $40,000 purse, and it's for registered Indiana-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races other than a maiden, claiming, or starter, and which have never won 3 races.
And at 6 furlongs, we're looking for some speed. What else, Terry, will we be looking for? 1 out of 3 get the lead and go straight into the winner's circle, never get passed on their way to go. You have the fair rail for Unbridled Divine. 2 and 3, they get a little extra juice. 4 and out, they are penalized. They win under par, but the closer you are still to the rail, the better off you are. So if there's any horses in race 5, Terry, that have speed on the inside 3, looks like with the 2 scratching, that might be with a 4 horse.
That's right. It does. It looks like the 4 may have get to that quarter pole first, and then the 3 has an overlay from 8 to 5 or 7 to 5 to 12 to 1. The 7 has an overlay from 5 to 2 almost to 5 to 1, and the 8 has an overlay from around 9 to 2 to 8 to 1. 6, 3, 7, and 8 show par plus numbers, and then all of them have C zones, and they're all pretty close on their Q30s.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this, you got a lot of horses that want to go on the front. The Q scores are about the same. Looks like a contentious beginning for sure. And there's a lot of green in here. It looks like, just from our simulations, a very competitive outing. That's probably why they made it the race of death. Pretty balanced race in here too, though you do have 2 horses, particularly the 5 horse, Heaven and Earth, in here as the lone PC type. Very versatile. The 1, 3, and 6 has some versatility. Lone P in the 9. So again, the 10,000 foot down view says a very competitive race in here. Early speed wise, again, we don't see any change to that mind frame. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horses within 6 points of each other. 1 length, get bumped, get forced wide. Could be the difference between being at the front of the pack or damn near the back of the pack. At the race home, where this one might be one, Work It Wendy. Yes, indeed, Wendy, Work It. That one is tied for the most late speed with Gio's Baby Girl, but should be well ahead of the closer unless it has to work too hard with that contentious early pace. Looking at the early speed, late speed combo, Work It Wendy is your top total pace horse. 9 points ahead of Nolaka Charm, Terry. So it looks like the 6 horse is the one to beat as long as it doesn't get in a speed duel.
That's right. I like Work It Wendy, as you do. She won her last race at Horseshoe Indianapolis. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Marks a lot of boxes off. Number 5, Heaven on Earth, second choice, won her last race at Horseshoe International, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 3, Lolaka Charm. She has won 2 races in a row and going for a hat trick, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 8 as my long shot, Gio's Baby Girl. She drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play the 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use a 5-6 with the 4, 5, 10, with the 5, 6, 7, and 8, with the 2, 3, 9, 11. I think that's a $48 ticket.
Somehow we ended up at the same 4 picks in here, so I expect this race to maybe go to form. I have the 6-2, Work It Wendy, top selection in there, top total pace horse by 9 points, as we mentioned. This one either wins big, Terry, so raced 4 times, 2 really big wins, or finish 3rd in the other 2. So if it doesn't get the win, you can lock it in to the show spot. Beyond, the next one is Heaven and Earth. It's the 5 horse. Pair of wins and a close enough second in 3 races at Horseshoe Indy so far. That's a really nice workout prepping for today on July 9th. They ran 4 furlongs in 46 and 3. You know what that is, Terry?
It's very fast.
That's fast. And that was breezing at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Says she could be on fire today. Number 3, I think this can be very contentious early on, as we see with all the early speed in there. Should open the door for some closers. So I'm going to take, for my 3rd and 4th picks, the 2 horses with the most late speed. That's Nolaka Charm and Gio's Baby Girl. Maybe I can flip them around But for my pick 4, I'm just going to go 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 all the way through $40.50. And that takes us to race number 6, Terry. And I think we have enough time to do race number 6. Yeah, probably 6 and 7. So let's talk about race number 6 first.
Well, we're going to shorten up to 5 furlongs on the turf. It's a maiden claiming race, a $20,000 claiming price, a purse $27,880 for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
And the short sprint grass races, Terry, do tend to favor horses with early speed and bunch. 36 out of 100 to the front, stay on the front, and cash the biggest check of all. A little bit of a rail bonus for Vino Caldo, another wine horse there, Terry, for you. 2 through 7, a small discount. 8 and out, a small bonus. So be on the rail or be on the outside, but most importantly, be fast, Terry. And where do we find the speed here?
On the outside, that 10's got the most speed since they scratched the 7. And then the 3 has an overlay from almost 6 to 1 to 12 to 1. The 10 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 7 to 2. The 10 shows the only par plus number. And then the 1, 3, and 10 shows C zones.
So interesting here with the scratches. I have one of the things that will be coming forth soon, really soon, is I'm almost done with all of the data stuff. Thank God. Now, the only thing I have left to do is stick it all in one sheet so that when I put in the master data, all of this information will filter out. We'll be able to provide it for every race, every thoroughbred race. Haven't quite figured out what to do about the quarter horses, but I don't think that's a big enough deal to worry too much about it. If we grow, as I hope we'll grow, then we'll factor that into. But in any case, just looking at this 10 horse, it's 21% without the steel link in there. It's going to gobble up a lot of that other speed. So I'm going to guess that one would have been pretty close to 30% in there, Terry, on that Q score. Good chance to be on the lead too, especially with that 7 horse. I think it's your pace setter. Is that what tells us when we look here? It doesn't need to be the pace setter. That's interesting because it's a pressure horse. The red, white, and blue want to be up front. 4, 5, and 6, they want to close. The 8 horse, it's going to make its first start. So is that 10 horse going to get the lead, Terry? It says yes, pretty handsomely too, about a length and a half faster than anybody else in this race. 10 horse gets to the front, could go wire to wire. Channel Z on top, Vino Caldo, they'll be coming the quickest, although really not the biggest of a gap all the way down to the 10 horse. Our top total pace horse, notwithstanding the first-time starter, is Executive Power, about 3/4 of a length faster than Hero Worship. Terry, any chance you think that 10's going to go wire to wire? No, you're going to go somewhere else.
Well, it's got a good chance, but I think the 5 is actually going to beat the 10 Channel Z. Ran second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey. Now that 10 Executive Power did run 5th versus similar in his last race as a favorite, but he does have a trainer that wins 23% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again. He drops in class today, and the breeding suggests he'll like grass, as his dam has had 2 winners.
Dinner.
No,
he's going to get the good hay, Terry, today. Is that why you think he's going to win? He's going to get the spike hay?
I think I got the D with the winners there. But anyway, Dam has 2 winners from.
Or you're hungry, one of the other.
Yeah, I am hungry. 3 starters and 1 turf winner. And then I like the 4 Hero Worship as my third choice. Drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 21% of the races when taking a horse from the dirt to the turf. He has best turf speed, as fast as among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then 3 on tops, my long shot, ran second on the turf in his last race, has a trainer who wins 17% of the races when shipping a horse in to run. No additional bets for me in this race.
Umet says, Terry, take note. He's got the 8 and the 2 in race number 6. Well, I'm going to take note of the 10 horse, Executive Power. I'm going to exert a little bit of that and put it as my top selection. That one, I think, has a good shot to get to the lead. And he's a class and track dropper for Hall of Fame trainer Steven Asmussen. Steel Link, the 7 horse. Guess what? He's not in this race, Terry, huh? So I can't put him in there. So that means I got to change my pick 4 then, right? Because
that was a late scratch.
All right. Well, in any case, let me see what else I got cooking here. So then I got to go back. Hold on. I got to unwind a few things here. I don't know what I have as my next pick there. Anyway, well, we'll figure it out. All right. So Come on now. Work with me, computer. All right, there we go. So this is going to be 10, 8, 3, 5 for me then. 10, 8, 8, tab 3, and 5. Which one scratched the 7, right?
Yes.
All right. So next up for me is then that 8 horse. Is the 7 horse is taking the day off. First timer, ridden by Jaime Torres, who has won 32% of his Horseshoe Indianapolis starts. The 3 horse for me on tap was a tough call over the 5 anyway. So I was going to put the 5 in there. I was debating between those two. The 5 is your morning line favorite, but the 5 has had 17 chances to win, Terry. Hasn't done it so far versus the 3 horse, which is making only his 4th career start. 3 horse has improved in every single race, and any further improvement would give that one a chance to win. So in my pick 4 in race number 5, I'm going to have to change this to the 3, 8, and 10. So let me change that to be reflective of the new reality today. All right. So how long do we have to race number 2?
Well, it says 0 minutes, but they may be running around,
All right. Let's try to fly through race number. What are we in? 7?
Yes.
All right. Let's just try to fly through this. I'll keep an eye on the screen, and if they start to run or get close, we'll go ahead and adjust.
Okay, 6 furlongs, maiden, $43,520 purse, and for maidens 3-year-olds.
And at 6 furlongs, again, speed does great. A bunch go wire to wire, 33%. The rail is fair. 2 and 3 get a little bit of bonus. Anything from 4 and out is slightly penalized. Closer to the rail, the better. Terry, in race number 7, where do we find the fast one?
All right, then we find it on that 8 horse. Shows lots of speed. The 2, 3, the 2 has an overlay from 7 to 1 to 15 to 1. I'm sorry, from 10 to 1 to 20 to 1. 3 has overlay from 7 to 1 to 15 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 9 to 2. The 9 has an overlay from 10 to 1 to 20 to 1. And the 11 has an overlay from 11 to 1 to 15 to 1. All but the 6 and 7 have par plus numbers. And 7, 8, 6, and 3 all have C zones. And that 8 horse has a 35% Q30.
So there's that 30%er. There is the top C zone. There is your chance to get to the lead. Your top par plus and one of, I think it is the actual simulation favorite, Bow Street would be a definition of a Q green go horse today. Is it going to get to the lead? Let's take a look. Well, you got a race where a bunch of them are making a first-time start. So of those horses that have some experience, Bow Street is definitely the quickest of the bunch. At the end of the race, Terry, of the experienced horses, does look like Chalice is the quickest of the bunch, and Bow Street being the slowest of the bunch. Your top total pace horse in here in this race, according to the experienced horses, are the 3 and the 6. The 8 horse taking the 4th place spot. Maybe we're going to regret putting that one at the top of our tickets, Terry.
I don't know. I liked it. He ran second versus Tupper on all-weather track in his last race. He's early speed running style will help his chances at this shorter distance, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer and a bullet workout July 27th. And then I like the 7, Sweet as Sin. Ran second versus Simmer in his last race and has a high percentage winning jockey. Grand Illusion, the 5 is my third one. First time starter who has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Then I like Chalice, the 6, my long shot, finished third versus Simmer in his last race and can improve while returning to a sprint. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to go with $14 to win on that 8 horse track dropper. That's what I like about that. Gets to the front. All that green doesn't give up the lead today, I think, Terry. Number 7, Sweet as Sin is my second choice. Just missed at this level out. So finally healthy horse, I think, because it's the first time in its short career it's making 2 starts in a row without heading to the sidelines. Number 5, Grand Illusion. Probably Stick's best record anyway. Workouts and the trainer for this first timer are there, but the breeding is somewhat questionable in my view. And then finally, number 3, Jimmy Rules. Any second race improvement puts that one in the mix for the win, Mr. Terry. I'm going to put $14 to win on the 8. Race number 2, they are loading up. So as it stands right now, your favorite is the 8 horse, CJ's Brown at 8-5. Next up is the 4 horse. So Terry's hoping for his pick 4 because he's got some prices in there. The 1, 2, 3, and 6. You got 5-1, 6-1, 6-1, and the 6 at 6-1. So Terry basically backing all the 6-1 horses here at the start of his pick 4. I got the 2, 4, and 8. So they ended up being the 3 favorites. Let's see how this thing plays out again here, Terry.
Okay.
Does CJ Storm get to the lead and keep the lead and not give it up like we saw in the opener? Or does something run it down at the end?
Yeah, let's see. Be interesting to see.
Well, the stories are always told in about a minute and a half.
That's right.
We will know short enough. Again, tomorrow, Terry and I will do Saratoga. We're off Thursday and Friday, and they're off at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Well, it's a pretty aggressive break for everybody in there. It does look like that 6 horse is taking charge. The 8 horse is going to be forced wide around the turn, so it could be a pretty difficult spot. He's like 4 lanes wide. I'm at my favorite place for my top pick to be. The 6 horse at 10-1 sets the tone. The 8 horse, the jockey, has a pretty firm hold on that horse. He is in second place, just chomping at the bit to go. They ran through the opening half in 24 1/4 seconds. The 1 horse is in third place. To its inside is the 2 horse. That one's making up ground. And then the 3 horse. So all of our horses in there, Terry, in the mix. But from the nose of the 6 to the tail of the 5, you probably have about 6 lengths. So at this point, it's anybody's race. Down around the backstretch they go. They slowed it down a little bit, 48 3/4 seconds for the half mile. They go through the turn with the 8 horse running 2 wide all the way around. The 6 trying to hold him at bay. The 2 horse has plenty of horse, it looks like to me. He's going to try to get in the mix as the 8 horse has moved in front of the 6 horse. The 2 horse going to take it 3 wide around the turn to try to run down that favorite. The 2 horse is 3-1. And then you have a horse all the way on the outside. Terry's top pick, that 3 horse at a price, trying to get involved. I don't know that he's going to have enough to get there at a long price for Terry, but he's certainly making a good effort of it. The 8 horse and the 2 horse are battling it out. Down to the wire they come. We're both hoping for the 2 horse because it is the best one. So it's going to go 2, 8, 5. Terry, good thing that 5 horse didn't win at 44-1. So 2, 8, and 5 in race number 2. So we're both alive on the pick 4 with a $8 horse on top, beating what was the favorite at that time, the 8 horse, which got bet down from 4-1 to 9-5. So far, these horses with the top Q30 score, they haven't won yet, Terry, but it certainly shows like they plan on finishing in the money today.
It sure does.
So we have one more regular race to go, as I would call it, a thoroughbred race. That is the 8th race before we get to the popcorn race. Terry, what does the last thoroughbred race look like in Indiana Downs today?
All right. It's a 5 furlong on the turf, a claiming race, $10,000 claiming price, purse $23,120 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And again, at 5 furlongs on the turf, it'll be the second time we see it today. Look for those horses with early speed. 36 out of 100 get to the front and never relinquish the lead. Rail bonus for Velocimo, 2 through 7 a small discount, 8 now a small bonus. So Terry, show me if the 1 horse or anything outside has speed.
Well, that 2 shows all the speed in the world. There's a few others that show some minor speed. The 2 also has an overlay from almost 6-1 to 8-1. The 4 has an overlay from 9-1 to 12-1. The 7's overlay is from 2-1 to 8-1, and the 8's overlay is from 7-1 to 10-1. The 7 and the 2 both have par plus numbers, and all but the 4 and 8 show C zones, and the best Q30 is that 2 horse.
Yeah, and it probably moves up a little bit with Azteca Star giving up some of its Q30 points in here. All right, Terry. So the last time today, we're going to look at the pace setting. This race, kind of tilted a little middle back. So maybe a little bit of edge to the speed horses at a distance where a bunch 36 go wire to wire. Does look like Otis on the Cape is about a length quicker than Don't Stop. A little more than that than Velocimo. So the 2 horse should be able to clear the 1, set the tone early on, see if it can maintain that to the end of the race. Campton, Knack, Bolt, Don't Stop. Really nothing aggressive in terms of late speed here. Looks more like, to me, like horses that just pass tiring rivals more than horses that make up a ton of ground. looking at our top total pace, Don't Stop, Knack Knack Bolt, Kempton, Otis the Cape. There's your top 4 horses, Terry. Again, the likely winner to come from that group. You're going to tell us which one it is.
Well, I like the 11 Knack Knack Bolt. Drops in class today, can improve while returning to a sprint. His best turf speed as fast as among today's starters. The 3 Campton is my second choice. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and he has the highest last race speed rating. The 2 Otis on the Cape is my third choice. Has an early foot, so cut back in distance should help, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the 8 as my long shot, Man with the Moves. He drops in class today, has a trainer wins 25% of the claiming races. He has a horse competing in. As I'm out of funds, I can only have my normal bets during this race.
So we have an objection in that race there with the 1 horse. I don't know who he's objecting to. I don't see anybody else blinking, so I'm not quite sure which one he's mad at, but probably I would imagine the 2, 5, or 8 because they finished in front of him. I just don't know which one. Let's take a look at the screen and see who he's mad at, Terry.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. They come down the stretch here. Where's the 1 horse? That's great. They don't show you where the alleged infraction happens. All right. So for me, I'm going to go with the 3 horse Campton as my top selection in the last thoroughbred race at Horseshoe Indianapolis today. And the reason being, this horse is another track dropper today for that Hall of Fame trainer, Steve Asmussen, by far the most consistent in the field. The only question for me is he's going to make the first turf try and typically runs at a longer distance. So I'm not quite sure how shortening up helps either. But still, looks like the best horse in the race. Don't Stop is next on my list there, Terry. Possible bounce back race after a very rough start in its last run. Run back to the race before that, and a win is very much in the cards. 2 horse, Otis on the Cape. Well, there's that strong C-zone. There's that strong early pace. There's that top Q30 score, well above anybody else in the field, almost double Hilton Head. So that one can get to the lead and perhaps never give it up. And then Knack Knack Bolt, the best name on the card today. Really wasn't much different in terms of all of the scoring I do from the top 2 picks, so I figured I'd throw them in there as well. I'm going to go a little bit off of my bets here. I'm going to put that 2 horse in an exact key box, see if it can get to the lead and possibly steal this one at a good price. And then 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 11 in that key box, hoping to catch a nice combination of odds with either a horse getting to the lead or just kind of tailing off for second like we've seen the 2 other horses do so far. So really nothing happened there. The 2 is your winner, followed by the 8 and then the 5 and then the 1 in race number 2. Final race of the day today, Terry, is race number 9, what I call a popcorn race. 350 yards. It is a stakes race for these quarter horses. No data to talk about, Terry. Who is your winner?
All right. I like in this race the number 8 horse, Relentless. Oh, I can't say it right now.
Relentlessly Special.
Yeah, Relentlessly Special. He has finished the money in 8 career races, winning 4 of those starts. You know, when you get older, it gets harder and harder to pronounce these words. Used to be able to do it with no problem. But anyway, 6 Tin Knockers, my second choice, finished in the money in his last 4 career races, winning 1 of the starts. I like 1. Revy's Cowboy, he has finished the money in 3 out of the last 4 races, winning 2 of those starts. And 3 Thunder Cartel is my long shot, always in the hunt, finishing the money in 4 out of the 6 races and winning 1 of those races. This is a really wide open race as far as I'm concerned.
Well, for me, Terry, the one thing I have is speed figures, so I can do a simulation. So what I did, I was really adventurous. I just lined them up in order, went straight sim odds, 3, 4, 10, and 2. Those are your simulation favorites. The 2 horse Beach Bikini, who's 30 to 1, 10 to 1. So I just put them in that order. 3, 4, 10, 2. Let's see how that works out. Okay. Here are all of our picks for today. So far, who won that first race, Terry? The 2 horse, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Let me see.
No, did it go? I don't know who won the first race. I don't remember.
5 horse.
Oh, yes, the 5 horse.
Yeah.
And then the 4 horse won, right? No, the 2 horse.
No, then the 2.
All right, so 5 and 2. Those are your winners early on. Here are our picks for the rest of the day. To answer your question, Barry, I don't know yet how many of those horses end up in the money. This is something that we're going to be following going forward. I was just watching them kind of going through the numbers and then looking at some replays. And then I just anecdotally noticed the horses that got forward with the high Q scores did better than those that didn't get forward. And it just stands to reason. If you're betting on speed, if the horse doesn't get to the lead, well, then it's probably not going to be the best thing for that horse. So we'll be looking at those numbers and we'll be sharing them as they develop. So far, though, 100%, Terry, since we've introduced them on the show today. Coincidentally, today. All right, real quick again, since I forgot the show this last time. Asanobia, free track tonight. As I mentioned, I know Stable Duel is going to have a contest, so perhaps use those picks to your benefit. If not, you just want to bet there tonight. You're just kind of sitting around the house, feet up, just trying to chill, a few bucks to put in your Twin Spires or your TVG account or wherever you do your betting. Again, over in a little bit at horseracingtoday.net, Terry will post all of our comments along with a replay of the show. While you're there, hit the HRT gear, get yourself a great-looking number 1 hat, pair it up with the number 1 shirt, and you'll look fantastic no matter where you are. Any final thoughts from you, Terry, before you and I head out of here today?
Yeah, just give your loved ones a hug and a kiss and let them know how you feel, because you just never know what's going to happen day to day. And with all that bad weather
lots of rain
on the East Coast, please be safe and careful. And then just see you tomorrow.
Indeed. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And no matter what you're doing for the rest of the day, as Terry mentioned, even to family and folks you don't know, be kind to everybody today. See if you can make a stranger smile and then tell them to pass it on. No matter what endeavors you're chasing, your goals, your dreams, you're just chilling and want to have a fantastic weekday. We hope it's blessed with God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing you do for the rest of this terrific Terry Tuesday and beyond, of course, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, indeed. We'll see you tomorrow for a day at the spa.